everyone, let's go over how to browse the United States statutes at large. This is a great way to view documents about the current laws, the stages they've gone through, and when they were actually enacted. The best way to access these government documents is from the Library of Congress website, as they have all of the links to the many sessions of Congress. As you can see, their records go all the way back to the first Congress in 1789, and all the way down here at the bottom, you can see that they have more recent Congress sessions, ones that go all the way to 2011. Later sessions of Congress after 1951 are stored in the Government Publishing Office's database, the one I mentioned earlier called FDsys. For an example of how to browse the statutes, let's look at the very first session of Congress. These are housed on the Library of Congress's American Memory website. Over here on the left, you can see that we can browse the statutes at law as well as the page headings. Let's click on the statutes, though, to see what we can find. Here we can see all of the sessions of Congress that are on the American Memory website. So these go from 1789 to 1875. So to put it in slang terms, the very, very old ones. Let's click the laws to see what happened during the very first session. So this was from 1789 to 1799. So let's click on the public acts here. And here we have a PDF of all of the things that were put into law back in 1789. The first thing here is the oaths of office, so that obviously still affects our country today. And we can see a lot of other things on here that have roots in our current political system and how we do things, as well as some very old, outdated, and politically incorrect information about the Indians and how they were treated back then. So some really important stuff, but some also kind of scary historic stuff. So for contrast, after looking at the really old stuff, let's go back to the Library of Congress website. Let's go all the way down to the bottom and click on the recent stuff. So we're going to go into the FDsys database here to look at the more recent sessions of Congress. So for example, let's click on the 2011 session, which was actually the 112th Congress. So here you can see that FDsys has some more options. Instead of just looking at a PDF of things, we can actually see which bills were enacted into laws, their popular names, and even some presidential proclamations that took place during this time. If we look at the popular names, for instance, we can see that some of the laws that were enacted during this time were about job creation, even some airport and airway extension things. Here's one just called America, for instance. But if you want to look at more depth, you can click on a PDF right here, and it will actually show you the full text of the document, so you can look and see the different sections, what's actually involved in this, such as when it was proposed and when it was actually put into law. So this has been a brief overview of how to access different statutes of law and actually go and see the full text of all of them. As you can see, there are so many to explore. Government information can be really confusing because of all the different, very specific tools you have to use. You can't just go to a university website, for instance. So I hope this little tutorial has been helpful in teaching you all how to access our current laws. I hope you enjoyed.